What do you mean by the word inflorescence? What is the meaning of the word inflorescence? Inflorescence means the group of flowers which is borne on a single axis is called inflorescence. In layman's language, if you have to say, you can also say the arrangement of the four whorls on a single axis is called inflorescence. How the petals are arranged, how the stamens are arranged, how the sepals will be arranged, and at what level will there be, distance, will there be any gap, will there be compact, that is known as inflorescence, right? So now we will study about inflorescence in details. I'll just tell you the names, I'll just give you the names. Basically, they are divided into two types, right? Racemose and cymose. There are two types of inflorescence. One is racemose inflorescence and the other one is cymose inflorescence. Okay, just give and understand what are racemose and what are cymose. In racemose and cymose, there is basically one difference. What is the difference? First, let's understand a cymose. In cymose, what happens is that from one axis, multiple flowers can grow. Whereas in racemose, from one axis, not from one axis, from different axes, different flowers will grow. Correct? So that is the first point of difference between cymose and racemose. Now, what happens in a cymose is that the oldest flower or maybe the first flower grows at the tip, and then surrounding it, the first, second, third, fourth, fifth flower grows. So the oldest flower is always at the tip. But in case of a racemose flower, what happens? It goes in an increasing order. First, the oldest flower will grow here. Then as the tip grows, like the next axis, the second flower will grow. The tip grows, then again the third flower will grow, so and so. This is, a classic case of maybe Rajnigandha or tuberose, right? So these are all examples of racemose and cymose. It depends on how the flowers are arranged.
Ma'am, can you repeat the first?
See, in cymose, there are 2-3 differences in cymose, but there is basically only one major difference. That one major difference is the axis from where they grow. In cymose, the first flower, let me just write it down so that it's clear. The first flower always will grow at the tip. This is the first flower, right? Now this is the second flower. This is the third flower. This is how they grow in case of a racemose. But in case of a cymose, but what happens in case of a racemose? In case of a racemose, the first flower grows here, the second flower grows here, and it keeps on increasing. The third here and the fourth here. Correct? So it will keep on as the axis keeps on growing, the flowers, the buds will also keep on growing, and the flowers will also keep blooming like that. That's the difference between racemose and cymose. Okay. Now what are the examples? The examples of racemose are mustard, sarson, sweet pea, and coriander. These are classic examples of racemose kinds of flowers. Basically, how the flowers are arranged on the axis, right? And what is the example of cymose? It is cotton and jasmine. Correct? Cotton and jasmine, they are the classic example of cymose flowers. How the flowers will be.
Ma'am, what about the old flower? When I asked.
The old flower means this is the first flower which grows. Old flower means this is the first flower. This is the second flower and the third flower. That is what they mean when they say the old flower. And here when they say old flower means this is the first, this is second, this is third, this is fourth. This is what they mean when they say old flowers. Yes, difference of the axis, correct. Here, see, cymose have a common axis. Here in racemose,
Ma'am, I'm asking what is the difference of the axis?
This is what I'm saying, Monica. Here they have a common axis. cymos have a common axis. From that one axis, multiple flowers can grow. But in case of a racemose, can you see they have got a different axis? It's not common. The very look of it, you can understand that the axis is different. From different axes, different flowers grow. That is another difference between cymos and racemose. Correct? Now, if everything is clear, we are almost done with today's chapter, right from beginning to end. In case any of you have any doubt, any question, please to ask. Feel free to ask any question related to flowers, reproduction of plants.
Ma'am, can you please tell about which one is female and male in racemo and cymos?
No, see, in racemose and cymos has got nothing to do with female and male.
Okay, ma'am.
Racemose and cymos is about inflorescence. What is inflorescence, I said? Inflorescence, I said, is basically the arrangement of flowers on a single axis, how they are arranged. It is nothing to do with male and female. What I said about male and female is complete and incomplete flowers. Okay? So all of you please start answering. This is a question. The long stalk on which a flower is born. Please keep answering. I want all
Ma'am,
your
answer is C.
I want to see it.
Pedicle.
I want to see it on the chat. All of you please answer it in the
Ma'am,
chat.
I have written in the chat.
I have seen, beta. I have seen it. All of you have to answer. I don't know whether it is right or wrong, but please keep answering. I'll have to get back to you on that. I will not tell you now which is right, which is wrong. Pedicel. Okay. Correct. Very good. The answer is C. Now, the next question. The colored calyx is called? The answer is B. Petaloid. Colored calyx. Remember we were discussing. Please try and remember. Sepals that are green in color are called sepaloid. Sepals that are colored are called petaloid. Forgotten? Most of you have answered correctly. I'm very happy to see that. Most of you have answered correctly. Okay. Next question. The free petal condition is called? The answer is C. Polypetalous. Vamika also took out the example of, I think so, which flower was it? Gulmohar, I think so. You took out the example of Gulmohar, or which flower did you say is polypetalous? Free, where the petals are free. They are polypetalous. Correct. Now, the arrangement of ovules inside the ovary is called? Arrangement of flowers in an axis is called inflorescence. Right? And what is ovulation? Ovulation is a process by which, the ovules are produced. It is basically, the answer is placentation. Remember we studied about placenta. Yes, placentation is the correct answer. The arrangement of ovules inside the ovary. Next, flowers which have only stamens are called? Very good. All of you have got this correct. It is known as unisexual flowers. Yes, colored flowers. Flowers which have colored sepals. Correct. You have to name 2 flowers. Which is the third activity I said. Yes, very good, Ryan. Investigation of hibiscus. Excellent. Investigation of hibiscus. Please take a hibiscus, take your parents' help, use a pen knife. You will not be able to use a scalpel because you only have scalpel in lab. You will not be able to use a blade which is very sharp. So please use a pen knife and scissors, right? Cut it open, take the help of your parents and try and investigate a hibiscus. Take out the ovary. You will very clearly see ovules, which are very small, tiny, white, globule-like structure. Tiny white globules.
No. I understood about unisexual plants. I'm talking about male and female.
See,
The last
male part is the pollen, female part is the ovary. Right? That is what I said. Yeah, tell me, which is the other thing that you did not
why do
understand?
we call them male and female?
Because, you know, they have the male gamete. Pollen have the male gamete. And ovaries have the female gamete.
What's a gamete?
Gamete is the thing, you know, which helps in fertilization. We will read about it in the next chapter. Then matters will be close to you, will be clear to you. Pollen has the male gamete, right?
So
And
ovary
ovary,
is the female and
female
the
gamete.
male is pollen.
Hmm.
Thank
We'll
you so
study
much.
about. All right.